Hey guys, the bot builder's back and welcome to Road Wars Omega Series 2, Heat B. And well, we've already had our first heat and already we've had some incredible shocks as the second seeds Donald Thump are out of the competition already. They lost in the redemption round to Foxic after they rammed them out of the arena. But that isn't all, as Foxic, the 13th seeds, actually won the heat, beating World Championships Gravity in the Heat Finals and even taking out the Whirling Dervish, the Destructive Stinger, along the way. So Foxic filling the first place in the semi-finals, but we'll be seeing Bronco and Gravity later on in the series in the 10 Robot Rumbles before the semi-finals. But now we got that out of the way. This is now Heat B. And well, this is an interesting heat. If you've heard me mention in the last heat, we have some really great machines in here. We have an Account Mayhem Quaterfinalist, the King of Bots champion, the current one half of the tag team champions, and two Ultimate Challenge champions as well. So let's not hesitate and let's jump straight into it. Seeded number 6, Spectre. Oh, here are the number 6 seed Spectre. Of course, winners of King of Bots Season 1. A very deadly crusher. Made it all the way through to the semi-finals last series before being beaten by Donald Thump and Eruption after being punted sky high in their semi-final eliminator. They are the high seeds for this heat. A very deadly machine. An all-stars finalist this robot is. And definitely one of the best crushers around. BERT for the win. Here we have BERT for the win. An Account Mayhem quarter-finalist. Did very well, actually. Won their heats in very dominant fashion. Taking out great machines like Death Strawberry and Rapture NG. Definitely one of the most powerful flippers in Robot Wars Omega. However, they are a bit battered from their Account Mayhem. Still a really good machine, though. So yeah, it should be interesting to see how BERT does. Terrorhurtz. And here we have Terrorhurtz. A machine that's quite underrated, I think. Definitely one of the best axe robots in Robot Wars Omega. You can just hear the power of the axe when it lands down right there. They do have a nice scoop, a very durable connects machine, a very powerful axe. We saw them in the last series. Didn't do as well as we hoped, but Terahertz, but hopefully Terahertz can do a bit better here. They do have a reputation of being one of the best axe robots in Robot Wars Omega, so hopefully they can live up to it. Oh, look at that! The lighting is good for once. Yeah, but in the core control zone for the CPZs for our first fight, we have Rhino and Matilda. Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate. Now, this is going to be a great heat here. We have some really good machines in here already. Terahertz going straight after Spectre. Spectre, though, trying to bring down that crushing arm, but Terahertz very well armoured. Or at least in my series they are. They're armoured in Connect, one of the few Connect robots in this series. BERT for the win, meanwhile, trying to come through for a good flip right there onto Terahertz. Trying to flip them up and over. But Spectre now takes advantage and tries to puncture the flip hole right there, and they're going to try and cause some damage to BERT. BERT being crumbled right now by Spectre. Now, BERT never actually fought Sea Serpent in the series, but look at this right, Terahertz trying. Look at this, going right in the gap right there where the crusher is. BERT, I wonder if the flipper's still working. Yes, it is. It is still working, but how well? It doesn't seem to be as powerful after that crush by Spectre. Spectre trying to crumple down onto the rear tail of Terahertz, the thing that stabilises it, but yeah, it's not as powerful. It's not as powerful. I think Spectre might have done the damage there to BERT. And well, that would be a shame because BERT, they were quite impressive in the Account Mayhem, but they really are struggling. Terahertz, meanwhile, flipped up and over. Spectre trying to come with a good crush, and this is a great performance by Spectre already, but still in it. That was more of a better flip, but still not really that great. Not really seeing the high-flying flips we saw BERT perform in the Account Mayhem. And I think that's got something to do with that initial attack Spectre got on them. That was a great attack, excellent attack it was. Terahertz trying to bring down the axe right there onto Spectre's head. Spectre, the 6 seeds, definitely proving why they are the 6 seeds. A very good machine. Although we do have a few other contenders later on in the heat. BERT, I would say, are one of them, but that is as long as they can recover from this. in the redemption rounds, I think, because I don't think they're going to be winning this fight. Terahertz riding up the top of Bert and pushing them into the arena wall. They're such a low profile, though. They're still an incredibly difficult machine to get to grips with. They're still incredibly tough to get to grips with. Bert still fighting strongly, though. They're still fighting, but Spectre punches right through. And now they're going to try and control Bert. And Bert seems to be struggling here. Terrorhurtz upended. They're on their backs. Terrorhurtz now going for some more axe shots right there and onto Spectre. And, oh, look at this. They're just brutalising poor Bert here. But what did Bert ever do to you? Bert, I thought Bert would do a lot better than this. They looked really good in their Account Mayhem, but look at this. It's like two crows feasting over a dead carcass right here. It's like two crows feasting over a dead carcass. Although I do think it is going to go to the judges. I'm fairly certain Bert survived just, but look at that. They are definitely a lot worse for wear. Cease. So the judges have made their decision. You know the criteria they're looking for: damage, control, and aggression. And the judges believe that Bert were the weakest in that fight. So yeah, they get third in the fight. I mean, Nicholas Matthews is going to be disappointed with that. But between Terrorhurtz and Spectre, this is tough because they all really did gang up on the big scary flipper that was Bert. But the judges feel the robot that goes through on damage and control is the 6 seed Spectre. Yeah, the judges felt that Spectre were the more effective machine overall. That damage they did on Bert edged it out. They also felt they were the more controlled. Although a great performance by Terahertz there, but it just wasn't good enough. And they have to go into the redemption rounds. Seeded number 17, Storm 2. Here are Storm 2, the number 17 seeds, won it due to being one half of the tag team champions. Defended it really well quite recently in Robomania 2020. A very good pusher. One of the best around. 6-wheel drive pushing power, great speed and push. This is their first Road Warzone Mega Series and they're already a seeding. So they've already been taking names and they've already made a good statement. But can Storm 2 stay at the top? Or would it be blown away? Cyberspinner. Oh, and here is a machine that everyone is feared for. Cyberspinner. A former Ultimate Challenge champion and a Mayhem champion. At the time of recording this, they're the current Mayhem champions. Not sure if they will be after this. They are an incredibly powerful spinner. One of the most powerful all-round. Although they don't have a Shremek, which did cost them in Robomania 2020 when they lost their Ultimate Challenge championship after only just winning it. And they lost it to Roadkill. The reigning Ultimate Challenge champions. It's brute force, it's brilliant, it's invertible, it's got great pushing power. They're definitely one of the most feared newcomers all round. And I can see this machine go very far. They won the Ultimate Challenge championships. They're such a great pusher. Although it has thrown itself into the pit on one occasion. Hopefully that won't happen to it here. And in the Core Patrol Zone for the CPZs, well, you know the drill. They did nothing in the last fight. It's Rhino and Matilda. Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate. So here we go. Storm 2 and Roadkill already going off each other. And this is great stuff here. The tag team champions and the Ultimate Challenge champions going at it. But you still need to look out for the former Ultimate Challenge champions already. But I think Roadkill already doesn't need Cyberspinner. And that is exactly what they did to them in Robomania 2020. They've done it to them again. Although Cyberspinner gets rammed right there by Rhino. Cyberspinner, Pre-Series champions, winners of Pre-Series 4. But this is a new day of Robot Combat. And Cyberspinner has to deal with 2 new greats right here. And we've already seen a Pre-Series champion already be eliminated. Why are they trying to right Cyberspinner? Why are they? Maybe Storm 2 is using it as a tactical thing. Maybe they see them as the only machine that could really stop Roadkill. Maybe they see him as the only machine that could really stop Roadkill. Roadkill trying to push Cyberspinner about here. Although I will say, despite Spectre being the seeds, I would have to say Roadkill are the favourites to defeat by far. The Ultimate Challenge champions, and for damn good reasoning! And they've knocked Cyberspinner up and over, and they've pushed them in the pit again! Well, that's just unfortunate luck of the draw by Cyberspinner there, wasn't it? They got drawn up against a machine that could beat them so effectively. So it's now down to both Roadkill and Storm 2, and honestly, this is a fight I've been wanting to see ever since Roadkill fought Rapid, ever since they, well, ramped up the drive and proved they are one of the best Rambots. I've wanted to see these two duke it out. Some of the best pushers, and definitely some of the greatest Rambots in Road Wars Omega history. Roadkill gets flipped up by Matilda, but Roadkill comes in with a great push right there and onto Storm 2. This is excellent stuff right here in a minute. Roadkill pushing Storm 2 back though, and in comes Rhino, coming with a great slam Cyberspinner. Get back down that hole right there, as you can see. Storm 2 trying to get in underneath Roadkill again. Roadkill, the reigning Ultimate Challenge champions, as I mentioned many times, although Storm 2, the tag team champions, but that's not going to help them, as they're in the pit. And they're in the pit along with Cyberspinner, and Roadkill get the victory. Cease. And if you don't believe the hype, well, you better believe it now. The Ultimate Challenge champions, Roadkill, just took on another fellow rammer, a machine that's like equal in ramming potential in Storm 2, and just pitted them as well. Well, Roadkill, they go through to the Heat semi-finals. Storm 2 and Cyberspinner, they're great machines, but they faced the Ultimate Challenge and they couldn't live up to it, and they go down to the redemption rounds. And here is our first redemption round. We have Terahertz, the big scary axe. Although they have a tough machine ahead of them, Cyberspinner. They didn't really get to show themselves off in that fight. Well, that's because they fought two pushers, and that's their main weakness. But maybe we get to see what the Pre-Series 4 champions are really capable of. And overseeing this fight, we have the Deadly Virus and the Dog of War Growler. Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, and activate. So, I feel I should specify, Terrorhurtz actually qualified for the series legitimately. Cyberspinner got through via a fan vote, because they lost to fellow Pre-Series champions and their rivals, Liftoff, in the qualifiers. Very unfortunate draw, but they made it through. But how would he X now, the former Ultimate Challenge champions, fare against Terrorhurtz? Well, I think they've already caused a bit of damage to them there. Terrorhurtz seems to be a little bit bashed and buckled right here in a minute. Due to the spinner, Cyberspinner, they are one of the most destructive robots around here in a minute. And Terahertz, look at this, they look buckled. Their axe is bent and buckled. I thought Terahertz could have had a good shot here. But Cyberspinner, I think it might have caused a good bit of damage here to Terahertz. And Terahertz, they look really good in the first round, but as I said, these heats are incredibly packed. And you just see how far Cyberspinner went there. Growler grabbing a hold of Cyberspinner, pushing him against the arena wall, and Terrorhurtz, they're still mobile, and they're taking advantage of that. Cyberspinner kind of exploded there, but they're still fighting back, and they're fighting back very strongly, and they've knocked Terrorhurtz up and over, and they've knocked off the axe, and that's the big threat of Terrorhurtz gone. Then off goes the axe of Terrorhurtz, and Cyberspinner, they might not look an incredibly controlled machine, but they're actually very controlled. For a full body spinner, it gets in close, then comes in for a smack like that, and as you can see here, the damage is piling up onto poor Terahertz. Terahertz are struggling here in a minute, and Terahertz suffering damage, and Cyberspinner are going on a rampage here. They're destroying Terahertz here. We've seen them destroy many machines in the past. They destroyed Cobalt in the Mayhem. They've caused damage to the floor flipper, and honestly, I don't think Terrorhurtz are moving. I think their life has been snuffed out at the hands of this destructive full-body spinner. And I think Virus are going to give him a coup de grace. They're on the floor flipper. Over they go. And Cyberspinner. Oh, another big hit right there. And Terrorhurtz. It was a great performance, but I think they waited a bit too long for a good hit there. Oh, look at this by Cyberspinner. They're trying to rip the plough off. That's what they're trying to do. This is brutal, but it's controlled brutality. And this is why Cyberspinner are one of the scariest machines around. Virus, please put Terahertz out of its misery. Please. They're gonna place them. They're placing them on the drop zone. Virus! That's not what I meant. They're on the drop zone now, and what is gonna drop? 3, 2, 1. Oh, it's a different TV remote this time. Ironic as well. Cease. Ironic, because that was the item that dropped on Champollion, the robot Terahertz beat to qualify for the series, but they got mullered by Cyberspinner there. Look at the damage. The machine has been buckled, the axe came off, the tail destroyed. All the hands of this deadly machine, Cyberspinner. And can Cyberspinner finally make it back to the top of the league and maybe even win a televised series? We'll have to wait and see. But they go through to the Heat semi-finals. Terahertz. See you around. Well, now we have our next redemption battle, where we see the Account Mayhem Quaterfinalists BERT for the win, who have fixed their flipper, they say. They say it's back to optimum working flipper potential, but they have a tough machine to face. The one half of the tag team champions, Storm 2, and the number 17 seeds. And then controlling for the CPZs, our very own tag team pair, the Drunks, Matilda and Virus. Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate. So this heat's going to be a lot longer than the last one, which is good, because the last one was quite short. This heat's definitely been a lot better, though. BERT trying to come with a great flip onto Storm 2, but Storm 2 gets right in underneath them there. And BERT, well, I mean, they might have a funny name, but they are still a machine that's a force to be reckoned with. But so is Storm 2, but they have a push force. BERT has a gravitational potential force, let's say. Matilda comes with a great flip onto Storm 2, though. And BERT trying to flip up and over Storm 2. Storm 2 gets flipped, though. That was a huge flip. Very big flip right there from BERT. In onto Storm! And they flipped him out of the arena. He's driving the pit. What are you doing, lads? Well, BERT proves to not be the best driver. Probably is a bit drunk at the minute. Actually, no, not drunk. Had a couple of ciders. There we go. That's appropriate for teenagers, isn't it? I don't know. They're in the pit, but they did flip Storm 2 out of the arena, and the one half of the tag team champions are gone already. Cease. Well, that was an impressive performance by BERT. Despite driving themselves in the pit, they go through to the Heat semi-finals. Well, as for Storm 2, shame to see them go out. The one half of the tag team champions, but that's just the tail of the tape. But now we're in our Heat semi-finals. We've already seen two machines go out, Terrorhurtz and Storm 2. Shame to see Storm 2 go out, but they did lose to a really good machine in BERT for the win, the Account Mayhem Quaterfinalist. And we're going to see another great machine lose here, as we have the 6th seed Spectre, runners-up of the All-Stars, but they have a tough machine to face. The former Ultimate Challenge champions, a Mayhem champion, and a Pre-Series 4 champion as well, Cyberspinner. And overseeing it, we have our house robots, Matilda and Virus again. They didn't really get to do anything that last fight, so maybe they'll have to do something here. Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate. So Cyberspinner, the former Ultimate Challenge champions, and Spectre, the Deadly Crusher, who's already gotten in a great hold of Cyberspinner. And this could be what is needed to eliminate Cyberspinner, and they're pushing him into Virus. But Virus looks to be lifting them both up. Spectre trying to bring that crushing claw down, though. Trying to maybe cause some damage to Cyberspinner, but Cyberspinner comes with a big hit right there. And trying to knock Spectre up and over. Completely missing, though. And, oh, another good charge right there from Spectre. Slamming in onto Cyberspinner. Cyberspinner, they haven't really been able to do a whole lot to Spectre at the minute. Spectre proved to be very controlled, but Cyberspinner, a very well-controlled machine as well. They maybe, oh, well, just when I said that, they very nearly went in the pit, but they weren't able to stop it. It does carry some of that gyroscopic force that spinners have, although it acts more like a frackbot, I'd say. It gets in close, and it spins! Just like that! And they just knock Spectre out of the arena! And Cyberspinner, they get the victory, and Spectre are merely just a ghost of their former self now. Jeez, that was impressive by Cyberspinner. Cease. Well, that was how Cyberspinner won that Ultimate Challenge Championship way back when they fought Blood Pumper, smacked them out of the arena, and they did the same to Spectre. Spectre are the first victim of Cyberspinner's out of the arena attack this series, and Cyberspinner, they march on to the Heat finals. Honestly, I think the Pre-Series 4 champions are getting back into their prime, but we'll have to wait and see who they face in the Heat finals. And this is an interesting Heat final we have between two robots who I think could give Cyberspinner a good run for their money. We have Roadkill, the amazing Rambot. They've already beaten Cyberspinner already in this heat. And in Robomania 2020 to win the Ultimate Challenge Championships. But they have a tough machine ahead of them. The big, powerful, scary flipper that's BERT. And in full control of CPZ, we decided to put in our own big, powerful, scary flipper, Matilda. And just keeping with the theme of animals, we decided to bring in Growl along as well. Well, he hasn't really had to walk for a bit, so he might as well get some exercise. Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate. I reckon the Ultimate Challenge Champions are going to have a bit of trouble here dealing with BERT, because BERT are a flipper and they've already took out Storm 2, but Roadkill! Look at this! Look at this by Roadkill! Look at this for a controlled move! They've gotten that front blade in underneath the flipper of BERT, and this is causing some awful damage to them here. And look at this by Roadkill. Roadkill, they might not be able to get in underneath them, but I think they caused some awful damage to that front flipper of BERT. Look at that getting right in there again. It's got such a great drive. They're pushing them right here. And look at this. Roadkill gets in underneath BERT. And BERT currently are in a lot of trouble right here. And BERT, well, that was some immense driving skill right there from Roadkill. They let BERT activate the flipper, and they took advantage, and BERT have suffered some problems with their flipper. That's what they've been dealing with. It's just they've been struggling with their flipper. And Roadkill, why are you taking on Growler? Why are you taking on Growler, Roadkill? BERT, they look battered and beaten and bruised, and Roadkill comes in again. That has to be some of the best driving I have seen. They just came in for the kill. They let BERT flip them, took advantage of it, and knocked them up and over! And they slammed them out of the arena just like that. And that has to be some of the greatest driving I've seen in Robot Wars Omega for a damn long time. Cease. Well, that was an interesting fight, but some amazing driving skill by Roadkill. They prove why they are the Ultimate Challenge Champions. They let BERT flip them, exposing their innards, and they just came in right in for a slam. And, well, BERT were never the same since, and, well, Roadkill eventually slammed them out of the arena. Well on to Roadkill. They get the victory, and they go through to the Heat Finals to take on Cyberspinner for the third time in a matter of 3 months. But before we get to that, here is our third place playoff. We already have Bronco in the 10 Robot Rumble. Who will join Bronco and Gravity in the 10 Robot Rumble? Will it be Spectre, the 6 seeds, or will it be BERT for the win with the big powerful flipper? The winner of this will go into the 10 Robot Rumble for semi-final A. So yeah. And overseeing this, well, these two will definitely be in semi-final A. It's Matilda and Rhino. Well, they'll definitely be in every episode. Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate. So here we go. BERT and Spectre. Have BERT fixed a flipper? Yes, they have, it seems, but they've been having flipper troubles this entire heat. They have. With Spectre coming in with a deadly crush, Roadkill coming in with a deadly shove. But right now, BERT for the win seems to be on top here at the minute. Spectre though comes in to the side right there. The 6th seed, Spectre, the only seeds left in this heat, and they want to make it into the 10 Robot Rumble. Now they're going to try and crumple down onto BERT for the win. Of course, Spectre came second in the All-Stars Championships. A very, very good machine this is. Very underrated. They are the best crusher in Robot Wars Omega history. They got that reputation when they won the Crusher Crunch Up. BERT though, an Account Mayhem Quaterfinalists, they know what it's like to make it out of the heat, so they flip up and over Spectre. Spectre, self-right. BERT, they have a funny name, that is their main strength, obviously. BERT though, trying to get in behind, and they very nearly flip Spectre out of the arena. And Matilda finally gets off her high horse and does some in this episode. Good on you, Matilda. Yes, flip up and over Spectre. BERT flips over Matilda. Oh dear, Matilda, you really shouldn't have came at all this should ya? BERT and Spectre though, still having a very good tussle right here in a minute. It's very close until this moment, surely, where Spectre sees the opportunity and they're going to try and make it count. They're going to try and make it count. They're bringing down that crusher in onto BERT. And this is what they wanted. This is BERT's issue. Their flipper is too Their innards are too exposed, I think. And now in comes Rhino, coming with a great ram right there. They're coming with a great slam, and Spectre lifts up Bert, and are they going to try and dump them in the pit? This seems to be the tactic Spectre are going to use to try and get to the 10 Robot Rumble. And they've done it. They've done it. Well done, Spectre. I thought they were going to lose that time, but they didn't. They came with a bite and sent Bert down the pit of oblivion. Oh dear. Cease. Well done to Spectre. That was a very, very good performance right there. They used great driving skill, got into the innards of Bert, and dumped them down the pit. And while they might not have gotten a heat win, they go through to the 10 Robot Rumble in semi-final A. That'll be an interesting machine to see. No, the 10 Robot Rumble in the semi-final B. That should be interesting to see. And Spectre, they march on to the 10 Robot Rumble at the end of the series. But now we will see which one of these two machines will go into the 10 Robot Rumble and which one will go into the semi-finals. We have two Ultimate Challenge champions. Cyberspinner, they won it after destroying Blood Pumper, smacking them out of the arena, but they lost it the following 2 weeks to this machine, Roadkill. Roadkill also eliminated them from the melees. So can Cyberspinner get revenge, or will history just repeat itself? And the Core Patrol Zone for the CPZs. Well, we have Virus. History usually repeats itself for him. He's always drunk and he always does something stupid. And Rhino, he seems to be getting some repeated history too. His bloody horn keeps falling off. Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate. So Cyberspinner and Roadkill. Should be an interesting battle this, and Roadkill already gets in underneath Cyberspinner and trying to push him into the arena wall. Roadkill gets in underneath Cyberspinner though, and well, of course, both these machines, they want to make it into the semi-finals. But we've already seen a surprise already. Foxix made it, so will we get another surprise? And Cyberspinner actually finally beat Roadkill and then start off their championship winning reign for real, or will the favourites for the heat? Roadkill, they may not be seeded, but they're easy, the favourites. Very, very Crush Syndrome-esque. Except it's invertible, and they've already knocked Cyberspinner up and over. But Cyberspinner gets back up. Well, Roadkill more or less helps them. Maybe because they want to just dominate them here. They want to show it off again. They feel like a bit overconfident here, I think. And they're going to try and come with another great slam. In comes Virus, lifting up Cyberspinner, lifting them up, and Cyberspinner are in trouble. They're in deep trouble right here in a minute. Roadkill comes with a great slam right there, and in comes Rhino with another strong slam of his own. And Roadkill are trying to push Virus about here. I think Virus is scared. I think Virus is scared of them. Roadkill gets in underneath Virus and comes with a great slam. And oh, Rhino trying to knock Cyberspinner up and over. Roadkill, now they need to focus their attention on Cyberspinner. They can't just keep going after Virus for the entire battle. Cyberspinner, they have so many accolades to their name: an off-air champion, a mayhem champion, an ultimate challenge champion. Right now, they're in the clutches of Virus. And honestly, Cyberspinner have done very well this series to reach the heat final. I wouldn't have allowed Virus to flip them over then. Then they were out the CPZ. Roadkill, though, comes with another slam! And I think that's going to be it! They've knocked Cyberspinner up and over, and I don't think they're going to be foolish enough to right them this time. And I think Roadkill are going to be going through to the semi-finals. Cyberspinner, they are on the drop zone, and I wonder what is going to drop down from here. And they're on the drop zone. 3, 2, 1. Oh! 4 highlighters! Oh, and that's just confirmation there that Roadkill know that Cyberspinner have been beaten. And well, Roadkill trying to come with some more slams. And Virus lifts up Cyberspinner. It's been a great performance by them. They will be in the 10 Robot Rumble. But for now, they are out the competition. They can't lift them out of the arena. Roadkill slams Cyberspinner out of the arena. And oh god, they're nearly in the pit. They've driven in the pit again, but it doesn't matter, as they are the winners of this heat, and they will go through to semi-final B. Cease. Wow. And I know I might have said it before, but I'm going to say it again. If you didn't believe the hype You better believe it now. And you can see why Roadkill are the Ultimate Challenge champions, and they want to win Series 2 as well. They want to add Series 2 to their list of accomplishments. And they go through to semi-final B. But yeah, we now have only 8 spots, 8 more heats left. This has been an absolutely chaotic series so far, full of shocks and surprises, and well, we get our first unseeded semi-finalist, Roadkill. We'll see how they perform later on in the series. Cyberspinner, they go into the 10 Royal Rumble. Could do well in that, I reckon. They go to the one with Bronco in semi-final A. And yeah, well onto Roadkill. And yeah, and that kind of does it for this heat. And we'll see you again next time for Heat C, which honestly has the makings to be the greatest heat in Robot Wars Omega history. We'll see you then, though. And until then, the Bot Builder, out.